The D-Day Darlings are the UK's premier wartime-inspired singing group and Britain's Got Talent finalists. Led by founder Katie Ashby, the group has garnered critical acclaim and support from Dame Vera Lynn and the Royal British Legion. To celebrate the King's Coronation, the D-Day Darlings are releasing their new single, I Vow to Thee My Country, featuring the group's stunning singing harmonies. They'll also be embarking on a UK 24-date tour in April, May and June of 2023, joined by various performers including Britain's Got Talent winner, war veteran Sergeant Major Colin Thackeray, the D-Day Juniors and the brand new Voices Choir. And on the line with us here we've got Katie and Emily from the D-Day Darlings. How are you both today?
We're good, thanks.
You're very well, thank you.
So your new single, I Vow to Thee My Country, is being released to celebrate the King's Coronation. Are you guys secretly hoping to be crowned the queens of the charts?
Oh, I like it.
That'd be nice, yeah. That'd be lovely. Yeah, we'd love to, what's the word? Have a chart position.
Yes.
But yeah, either way, we'll crown ourselves anyway, so don't worry about it.
We will. We're hoping that it goes on people's coronation party playlists. You know, it's just a rousing song to get people really, feeling in the patriotic spirit.
Yeah. So why did you choose that song? Because there are quite a few patriotic songs out there.
There are, yes. And we considered a few different options, but there was something quite historically relevant about this song because it's such an old song. And I remember speaking to my dad about it actually at the time, and he said, gosh, that was a hymn that we used to sing when I was at school, in assemblies and things. And it's got that lovely sort of patriotic message about service to the country. And that is quite relevant also to our main sort of message, which is the message of remembrance. So it chimes in with what the king is about to pledge his life and, his service to our country as king. But it also chimes very well with the service, and the debt we owe to our war veterans, who obviously, that's a big part of the D-Day Darling. So we thought the message, and also from a musical point of view, it's got fabulous scope for harmonies. It's so anthemic and so rousing and so atmospheric. We thought it's got to be this one.
Choice, the perfect choice.
So what does the coronation actually mean to you two and to the group as a whole? We're
just really excited that the country are going to witness, a moment in history. We've all got young children, so that's wonderful. And I think it's a time for the country to unite. It's a time for people to celebrate. So I think however people feel about it, and, I think people can still celebrate the day and the time and look at it with, it is a moment in history. And I think that's what we're looking forward to the most, is just witnessing that, really unique moment that we will see it again in our lifetime. We know we will. So it's just a unique, we've had the Queens for so long as, as our beacon of light. It's, to have a whole new
chapter. It's strange I say for us, we've ever only known one monarch, but most of the living people in the country are in the same position, and I spoke to a family member who remembers the Queen being coronated, and I think, wow, there's only a small group of special people that will be able to say that they saw the Queen being coronated and now they're going to see the King. And yes, it feels very strange and discombobulating for all of us, really, doesn't it? The thought of having a king after having had a queen for so many years, all our lifetime. So it's just such a huge historical moment. It's such a huge change, really. So I suppose there's the sort of historical significance of the moment. We are in this moment that is a really important time in our sort of historical timeline. In years to come, it will be a big moment, and we can all say that we witnessed it. Yeah. But also, it's just, as Katie would say, it's a good excuse for an ease up.
Yeah, exactly. Get the wine out.
Yeah. And do you think that regardless of whether or not they're excited about the coronation, listeners will connect with your song?
Oh, definitely. I think especially our audience, it's like Emily was saying, it screams of everything that the D-Day Darling stands for, which is honouring those that vow their lives to service, our wonderful war veterans that we honour every day. So yes, it ties beautifully in with the King's coronation, but for us, it's about honouring everybody that makes that huge debt, and we owe that debt to, all those veterans and, that's really what it's about for us.
Yeah. And you mentioned that, of course, most people alive today, this is their first coronation. And equally, most people alive today weren't around during World War II. So what do you think your appeal is? Because I guess the D-Day darlings aren't nostalgic for most people, but do you think people kind of enjoy the wartime feel?
Well, it's funny, actually, because it's, the D-Day darlings have been going quite a long time, about 15 years. And, in a lot of the interviews we've done recently, we've talked about how obviously our audiences over those 15 years have changed, because when we were first, it was more about nostalgia when we first started, of course, because we used to be in the position where we had a lot of war veterans in the audience and a lot of people who remembered these songs firsthand, who remembered living through the war. And of course, now the music is a huge emotional connection with people that we've lost, with a father, a mother, a cousin, a brother, an auntie. It's so tied to a specific sort of cultural context and a moment in our time that, it's very special for people who for whom, like, the music, it connects them to people that have now gone. So I do still think that it's nostalgic from that point of view for people, because it's very important music and it means a lot to everybody, whether it's sort of, the music that they listened to growing up as a child, or whether it's the music that reminds them of a grandparent or a great-grandparent. But also, I think
the music's timeless. And I think that's the thing. I think the whole ethos of the music is to build morale, to unite people together. And that's what it was written for and designed for as well. So I think in today's generation, even if people can't necessarily connect with the time that we're dedicating, that the music was originally from, and our dedication to it, I think people can appreciate the music. I think it builds people's morale.
I think you only have to look at the situation through lockdown,
COVID,
because then turning back to Vera Lynn, we'll meet again. We found Vera Lynn in the charts again because, of course, the Queen famously referenced that song about keeping everybody's spirits high, keeping morale up, trying to come together as as people and just support and love each other and say that we are going to get through this.
Yeah, and we had major chart success during that time. We were number 5 in the UK album charts during COVID, and we think it's because the music is so timeless, and we were going through such a dark time. People were again turning to this music to see them through, of all generations. So not even war veterans or people that were involved in the war or that were around at that time. Children, teenagers were all loving our music because it was helping them through that time.
That's so true, isn't it? Everybody knows We'll Meet Again or White Cliffs of Dover, regardless of their age.
Yeah.
And that's music from the 40s. You couldn't really say the same about stuff from even more recent decades.
No, that's it. This is the thing. And we love the music. We love performing the music. And in some ways, the music is quite simple in some ways, with the melodies and the message, but it's so accessible for people. And I think that's why it's so, it's got such longevity, because it's just beautiful, beautiful music, and it's very hopeful and it's very emotional, and it just really moves you.
Yeah.
And for us, we're so honoured that we get to sing this music, really, because we all love it so much. And even after 15 years, we love it still.
Yeah, definitely.
So, Katie, I understand it was kind of your idea to set this whole thing up. What was it that made you want to start 15 years ago?
I think it's just seeing how this, like you say, how this music evokes people way above any other genre of music, because it's like we're saying, it's written about a time that was a very specific time. And I think everybody's got a story or a memory or a reason why they want to keep that memory alive, So for us, when I could see the emotion on the audience's face when I was singing these songs, that was what made me want to do it. I connected with it. It evoked something in me. It made me really passionate about this music. And I haven't looked back since. I've literally, since I had that light bulb moment, as it were, and said, there's a market here. There's a need for this music to continue and to stay alive, and also to be rejuvenated and put into the modern generation. And that's something that's very important to me for the D-Day Darlings. Darlings, that we're honouring the past, but we're not stuck there. We're very much remembering in the present. And I think that's very important to the longevity of this music as well.
And you were talking about Vera Lynn. She's got to be the biggest inspiration, right?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So, of course, I mean, we sing a lot of Dame Vera Lynn's music, and she was the main inspiration behind the formation of the D-Day Darlings. You know, we always say without Vera, there's no D-Day Darlings.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, she... In fact, it's a really lovely story, and I'm sure Katie will tell it, but we actually had a connection with her really from day one.
Yeah, right from the very beginning. We had her endorsement for the show, which was just a wonderful accolade to have. You know, the first lady of those wartime years. You know, the biggest musical entertainer of that time, and she put her name to our show, and that really was just such an honour. And you know, she's a very, very kind lady, and she supports a lot of people, or she supported a lot of people, use past tense, that obviously were going out and singing this music and keeping it alive. Anybody that was doing that, she really got behind. So she didn't just support us, she did support a few other acts. But we were just proud to be one of the acts that she put her name to. And, you know, that really helped us to spread the word further. Having her, you know, endorsement was just a lovely thing to have.
And that was, you know, right from day one, she was happy to say that she supported the D-Day Darlings. And then, of course, after we had our experience on Britain's Got Talent, and I suppose our profile was raised by that experience, we actually were really lucky because we had the opportunity to go and meet Dame Vera Lynn at her house.
Wow.
Yeah. So that, for me, that's probably the highlight of my whole time with the D-Day Darlings. Never in a million years thought I'd get the opportunity to meet Dame Vera Lynn, but you know, this was even more special, you know, to be invited to her house, to sit in her lounge with her and have tea and cake and talk to her and
get the photo album
get the photo albums out, and just, you know, what really, really wonderful. She was so kind and generous with her time, and just a lovely, down-to-earth, insightful, warm, wonderful lady, really.
Yeah, because the word national treasure is overused, but if there had to be only one person in the history of ever who was a national treasure, it would have to be her.
I think it would have to be her,
100%.
yes. I agree.
No doubt, no doubt.
So you're embarking on a 24-date tour in the UK very soon, with some special guests joining you. So what can we expect from these live shows?
So we are bringing our celebration show, our Coronation celebration show. You get everything that you expect to see from the D-Day Darlings, the White Cliffs of Dover, We'll Meet Again, those lovely poignant songs that everybody wants to hear, but we've gone with a slightly more celebratory angle this time, and we're doing a sort of traditional street party scene. We're paying tribute to King Charles's naval roots, and we're doing a lovely sailor section. And then obviously we've got a very rousing patriotic finale, which is confetti cannons and flags and everything you could imagine. So we're really looking forward to that. And also we're going to be joined at selected dates, as you were saying, by our lovely Colin Thackeray, Britain's Got Talent winner, Chelsea pensioner. He's going to be joining us on Sunday, as well as our young trailblazers, the D-Day Juniors, performing some of their original songs. And also our brand new choir are going to be joining us in the Midlands, our New Voices choir. So we've got a real mixed bag of different lineups and variety. So we're really excited about it.
And with the D-Day Juniors, do you think you're making a new generation of wartime-inspired performers?
Oh, 100%. Like it's all, we're passing the baton to them. So we're training them. We're teaching them the ropes, how to be wartime entertainers, but also inspiring them to look back at their ancestry and look at their family connections and learn about them and then pass it on to their friends. So it's all about, for me, it's like a relay race. We're passing it to the juniors. I've also got a younger group called the Cadets as well, the D-Day Cadets. And they're a new upcoming group as well. So I just want to spread it far and wide, and just hopefully the message will continue and keep going.
We did find actually that after we appeared on Britain's Got Talent, we seemed to have reached a much younger audience. So we'd been going for 10 years before we did Britain's Got Talent. And of course, we were very popular with a certain generation, but we found that our audience demographic really opened up after BGT because it's such a family show. We had these, lots of new, really young fans, and it was so nice. Because of course they're all asking us about the music, and a lot of them, had their favourite Run Rabbit Run was a big hit with the, with the youngsters, and And yeah, it was just so nice. And again, it's that whole thing of keeping the music alive and in the hearts and the minds of the younger generation who can pass it on.
And what was it like to be on Britain's Got Talent? And was it actually tough to decide to go on it? Because I've heard some people say before that it can either launch your career or completely destroy it, depending on how things go.
Definitely. Definitely. I suppose it can be a bit of a make or break show. But we because it's a good old variety show, we always felt that there was a market or a position for the D-Day Darlings. We were auditioning for about 2 to 3 years before they actually finally gave in and accepted it. Because we just felt it was a really good platform for us, and it's such variety. We just felt it was right. But it was the year that we went for it was the right time. It was the centenary anniversary of the end of World War One, the centenary of the RAF. It was the centenary celebration of women's votes. So it was a triple centenary year. So it's all about the timing. And they were really, really excited that we auditioned that year. And the rest is history. We had the most amazing experience.
It was a very positive experience for us. And I completely understand what you say, because we did feel, a little bit nervous that, of course, we've been up and running for 10 years. And you think, oh, gosh, is this a wise decision to go for something with such a huge reach, And I have to say there were a few sleepless nights before the live shows, knowing that 14 million people would be tuning in. It's one thing to, do a show. We're sort of very seasoned entertainers, but singing live on television to 14 million people is a very different thing.
Just the knowledge. Just the knowledge of that is daunting.
Yeah, so that those sorts of things were really nerve-wracking, but we did really enjoy a lot of the sort of exciting whirlwind things that come with being on a show like that. Doing all of the press stuff and getting to go on This Morning, Lorraine, Good Morning Britain, and we've done so many great shows. Since we went on BGT, it gave us a really good platform, and we've been very grateful really for that.
Yeah. Now, what's coming up for you after this tour and this single, of course? Are there plans for even more?
Oh, yeah, of course. Non-stop for the D-Day Darlings. We're going to continue our mission. We've got to keep it going, and it's such a strong vision. We are back in the studio after this around the autumn time, producing a new album that's going to be coming out in commemoration of D-Day 80 in June 2024. So we've got a really, really busy and exciting and reflective couple of years ahead, for us to commemorate D-Day 80 as the D-Day Darlings, with possibly, there'll be very, very few D-Day veterans left, if any. And it's sad, because obviously for the D-Day Darlings, for us too, we've performed for veterans, and we've, like Emily was saying, we've had them in the audience for years and years and years, and over the years we've seen them go, and that's been really, really hard.
And now it's a really, it's really special now. If we it's significant if we have a veteran in the audience. We make a real fuss of them.
Gosh, it's very, very rare now. So I think what we want to do is, while there's still some veterans hopefully remaining, especially from the D-Day, generation, we really, really want to release a brand new album of music that's in dedication to them and mark that moment, really. So, as well as a big tour, of course, we'll be back on the road doing a big tour, probably our biggest tour to date. And then into 2025, it's VE Day 80. So we've got
anniversary.
Oh God, I don't know where I'll be by then.
You can probably tell.
Yeah. Well, looking at some dates here for this tour, it all starts in Verwood Hub, then on to Eastleigh, Corby, Leeds, Clacton-on-Sea, Christchurch, Redhill, South Shields, Tamworth, Lancaster, Aldershot, Eastbourne, Dundee, Arbroath, Darlington, Colville, Dunstable, Wimborne, Weymouth, Isle of Wight, Hunstanton, Haverville, Hillsowen, Hoddesdon, and finishing in Chesham on the 22nd of June.
Haverhill, Hillsowen, Hoddesdon, all that
Yes. Do them all in alphabetical order, did you?
Exactly. Yes. As you can hear, it's hard enough to say it, let alone to do it. So,
yeah. Maybe easier done than said.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
Yeah.
It is. I feel quite tired just listening to that list.
We're out of breath, love.
Yeah, it's great. And we're so excited that we managed to get a couple of Scottish dates in, of course, because we've toured quite a lot around the Midlands. Obviously, that's where we're based. And we try and sort of go as far and wide as possible. But we've not really managed to get a theatre show up in Scotland before. So that's going to be a new experience for us. So we can't wait.
Well, where are we able to get tickets? Presumably they're still available.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got all of our dates online at ddaydarlings.co.uk. There's a tour page that lists all of the dates and links to where you can go and get your tickets.
And you can also pre-order our single there as well now, which is out on Sunday, this Sunday coming, 23rd, St. George's Day.
Yeah.
You can pre-order that now and you can pop it on your Coronation Street Party playlist. But it's a wonderful song just to have and to play all year round if you need a boost or you want to feel proud. And so you can pre-order that now at ddaydarlings.co.uk, same website.
And by Coronation Street Party playlist, you mean Coronation Street Party, not Coronation Street Party.
That's Emmerdale. That's Emmerdale.
Katie's a massive Coronation Street Party.
Well, many thanks to both of you for coming on, and enjoy your street parties and whatever you're doing for the coronation.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.